As we enter into the second panel this afternoon, can we invite the charismatic, inspiring speaker, Samir Geepee, please, back on stage. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Samir Geepee.
Yes, so I've already done the introduction for the panel. I think we are good to go. The next segment that we have is called the legal formalities to open a business in UK. Like I was saying, there will be a lot of people who will be wondering whether I should go to UK. Is it a good opportunity? What are the opportunities that lay ahead for me to take my business over there? We will be having a discussion where you will find that you might have possibilities or prospects of starting something and moving your business from here, or keeping your base over here and still expanding to other markets. Dubai can be a hub, but it doesn't have to be the only market that you serve. It can be the starting point or the ignition for you to take your business global. So please put your hands together to welcome one by one the three panels that we have today. Ahmed Ajina on stage. Ahmed Ajina is a solicitor and head of UK immigration. The next on the panel is Mike Cheetham, who is the director for Hotpack Global. And the last one is Neil Russell, who is the equity and marketing partner for Seddons. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you. Thank you.
So point of discussion today is the legal formality of setting up a business in UK, right? And we have someone who's already set up a business in UK. You are into immigration, you're into the marketing and how to take people there, right?
Yes.
Could you briefly tell us your profile in your business so that the audience get to know before we get into deeper conversation?
Let Neil start.
One by one, yeah?
We are a top 200 UK law firm, and we are based in the centre of London. As a reference point, we're right by Selfridges, where many people go shopping as well when they're in London. And we have a very international expertise and experience of working with companies and individuals who come to the UK and want an opportunity to invest in the UK. Ahmed will be able to speak shortly about the immigration services that we offer, which is where the journey into the UK begins. And then that journey gets expanded upon, and we have that knowledge, experience and expertise to take you through what are the different opportunities available. It often begins from a commercial proposition by opening a business, and quite often a limited company. That limited company will then have generally a requirement to have employees, and we are able to advise on all the requirements that employees are entitled to and the responsibilities that you have as an employer. Many businesses need premises to work from. There are lots of rules and regulations about occupation and how that works through, and we can advise and assist on that.
How long has Seddons existed?
Seddons has been going for more than 20 years in the centre of London where we are now.
All right.
We are a multi-service law firm covering all the areas.
And you have office in Dubai as well?
What we have, and we found that that has been something that people have liked as our USP, is we don't have offices here, but we are here maybe 5 times a year and regularly meet clients, whether they're in London or whether they're here in Dubai. So we make ourselves available, whether it's in presence here or in London or on the phone, on email.
Excellent.
We're always here.
Thank you. Would you just introduce yourself and tell us how long you've been with Hotpack Global and what is your role within the organization?
My name is Dr. Mike Cheetham. I retired to Dubai 15 years ago.
Retired?
Retired. Said I'd never work again. And about 3 years ago, I was invited to help my colleagues in Hotpack to globalize. The obvious place for many people in this room is to globalize starting in the UK. It's same language, legislation's easy to understand, and it's relatively cheap. So we started looking for a site. we identified, made a company, we started to find employees, and now we have a £200,000 site. At the same time as Hotpack, Lulu, we're also starting to expand into the UK. And since these two eminent businesses have gone to the UK, we've now taken, I think, 10 businesses to the UK. But you need someone to hold your hand. You need a law firm, you need to liaise with the British Embassy. It's easy to do, but you need professional support. So we're now encouraging the rest of the Kerala businesses to come to the UK. Just having a company in the UK might automatically add 10 or 15% to the value of your company, just because you have London address. It's money well spent. So my intention is to help you come to the UK and start a business.
Lovely. And yourself, just briefly introduce yourself.
My name's Ahmed Ajina. I'm the head of immigration at Seddons Solicitors in London. We assist a high number of high net worth clients and large corporations in the UAE and the rest of the Middle East and in Asia with establishing themselves in business in the United Kingdom. There are a number of ways to do that. There would be the which we'll go into later, but there's the investors and the entrepreneur routes. So we assist them from that point of view in terms of getting their immigration in place, because in order to invest in the UK and to have a presence in the UK, you need to sort out your immigration first before you're able to be in a position to do so. So that's how I would assist the clients we have here in terms of the corporations and the high net worth individuals. And then following on from that, once we do get their immigration sorted out, then we would go on to assist with establishing their companies, assisting in them buying premises, assisting them from an employment perspective, and to make sure that they're compliant with the immigration rules so that they're able to extend their residency in the United Kingdom, and if they're eligible to do so, applying for permanent residence and ultimately British citizenship. And what we found is that there's been a huge wave over the recent years in the number of clients, both individuals and corporations, looking to move to the UK and emigrating to the UK. That's based on the current security situation in the regions that they're from, and also due to the opportunities that the United Kingdom is now in a position to provide to them. So I'm sure you're all well aware of Brexit and the impact that's had. It's been a negative impact on us Brits living in the UK. However, it's a huge opportunity for foreign investors because the currency has taken a hit and property prices and commercial acquisitions have taken a hit as well. So this is the ideal time to invest in the UK and to set up enterprises in the UK.
Lovely. My question is, why should somebody consider UK? Because UK is traditionally known as an expensive place to go and start a business, right? And there's a lot of competition over there. The market is only that much. For a foreigner, for somebody from Kerala, for instance, what would the value addition be, apart from having London in the title? What else could they leverage on by moving to UK? It's open-ended. Whoever wants to answer. Why should somebody choose UK as a destination to set up business?
Because as Mike pointed out, that's a very important point. Just having a presence in the UK would increase the value of the brand from a global perspective. There's a lot of tax reliefs and benefits for people looking to set up companies in the UK. I'd say the cost of living in the UK and the lifestyle is less than it is in the United Arab Emirates. I mean, there's definitely huge benefits, and like I touched on before, the currency of the pound, the value of the pound has dropped, and in terms of acquisitions of commercial enterprises. So maybe you're not looking to establish yourself in business in the UK in terms of setting up from scratch, but you're looking to acquire another business. The value of those businesses have gone down. So it's definitely enticing for foreign investors, I'd say, from that point of view.
Where could we get information about businesses that we can acquire, for example? If there are businesses which are not doing very well and they're looking to sell.
There are websites and law firms that will help you find the businesses. UK is very cheap to live. The food is typically half the price of here. The schools are excellent and free. The health service is free. The maximum tax for a company is 20%. Having lived here for 15 years and gone back to the UK, I'm surprised how cheap it is. There's so many taxes here that are hidden taxes in visas. In the UK, once you have your company, your visa, you can live there for very minimal costs.
I mean, a prime example as well, setting up a company in the UK costs £8.
£8.
£8.
Yeah, £8, and you don't
for
need
life.
to. Yeah,
For life.
exactly. And there's no renewal licensing cost just to have the company operating on an ongoing basis.
Interesting.
And the biggest word in England right now is Brexit. And that, as Ahmed has said, has created, rather than just a negative position, it's created opportunities. Because, as it also has been said, everything is that much cheaper in England right now, including our currency, which means there's a discounted value on so many products and so many services and on everything that one might need to get going.
What is the cycle of setting up a business? How much time does it take to move in and get operational? If it is from scratch, everything.
I mean, setting up a company, you'd get authorization. You could do it online. The process takes around 10 minutes and you get authorization within 24 hours. That's just to establish the company. You don't need to get no documents certified from, you know, a foreign ministry or get the document. And it's not a long-winded process with a lot of red tape. No, it's very straightforward to do.
And you don't need to be a resident of UK to set up a company.
There needs to be one UK resident director. So, for example, you need to have one UK resident or a British national or a non-British national but a resident. However, if someone is not a UK national and is not a resident of the UK, they will be able to be appointed as a director of the company if there is another Brit or a UK resident as a joint director of that company. So it's a very straightforward process, I'd say.
We should add, we're talking here about companies, but that's not the only way you can carry on commercial activities, because you can trade on your own in your own name, you can trade as a partnership, but the advantage of the limited company is you have limited liability if things go wrong. You can also be a subsidiary company of an international company, and you can be part of a holding group, so you can sort of add to your balance sheet with a UK company as well.
All right.
One of the key concerns of my friends from Kerala excuse me, is that you have to have, if you want a British passport, which you can get after 3, 4, 5 years, that you have to give up your Indian passport, which are the regulations. But you can easily get indefinite leave to remain, which is in your Indian passport, and that is there forever. And at any time in the future, you can convert that after the relevant time into a British passport. So in having a business in the UK, you can reserve a place in the UK for later years where you can change your passport. Me personally, I'd probably have a Keralite passport, but it's a very easy process. Making a company, I can do under 5 minutes, and it costs £8.99.
£8.99.
So £8.99 and 5 minutes, and you have a company for life.
Okay.
So it's very, very easy.
I mean, yeah, that's another important point that Mike touched on. He did mention, obviously, having a UK presence would increase the value of the brand globally, but also for the company directors and also for members of staff who are looking to transfer over to the United Kingdom, there's a carrot at the end of that opportunity, which is those company directors and the employees will be able to acquire permanent residence if they meet the requirements and ultimately British citizenship. So it's not only effective from a cost perspective, but also it could give you the benefit of acquiring permanent residence and citizenship in the UK.
So once you have a business over there, you take the citizenship and you have a business in Dubai already, let's say. Do you get taxed on your income or earnings from here?
Once you
have the British citizenship,
Yeah.
and you have a business set up over there.
Okay, so there's certain rules with regards to that. you would not be taxed on your foreign income. So, for example, even if you are a normal resident, it's not in terms of British and resident. So you need to be, anyone who's a UK resident is liable to be taxed on their foreign income if they spend a certain number of days in the United Kingdom. And it's a sliding scale. So it starts off from 180 in the first year, and then it goes below to 120, then 90. So as long as you don't exceed those number of days in the UK, then you will not be taxed on your foreign income. The only thing you can be taxed on is the income that you personally receive from the company, and the company itself from the income that it receives.
My question to you is, you are marketing these services across the globe, right? And across to...
We have international clients, so they come from across the globe.
Yeah.
But we choose the markets that we want to invest our time and our efforts in. And we have chosen Dubai because it's such an international hub.
Absolutely.
And there's so many opportunities. So we share the same insight, the same growth that people here want as well.
So my question to you is, what industries would be best suited to consider?
In my view, it's any industry in which you have an expertise.
Exactly.
So it's not for us as lawyers to say these are the best opportunities. It's for the entrepreneur, the business person who has that knowledge of his sector to see the opportunities. Because there are so many opportunities. We, in terms of technology, we're always advancing.
Okay.
But we advance because of the international knowledge. We're in a global world now. So markets aren't local as they were before.
Yeah. I'd like to invite some questions from the audience before I just move on one more time.
Can I just say one point about the tax?
Pardon?
There's a double tax treaty.
Double tax?
There's a double tax treaty in force between the UAE and the UK.
Okay.
So that means if you pay tax in Dubai and become tax domicile here, you don't pay tax in the UK.
Okay.
But obviously the tax in Dubai is zero, but that still counts. So the double tax treaty allows you to spend, even if you become resident in the UK, you can benefit from the double tax treaty and under certain circumstances not pay any tax in the UK now. It came in March 2018.
Okay.
It's been signed.
That would be applicable for UAE residents, but obviously for non-UAE residents, that would be a different issue.
All right. Apart from Lulu and Hotpack, is there any other companies that you have associated with and you're looking to?
There's many companies are looking,
All right.
since they've heard about it, the success of our business. Many business lighting companies, tailoring companies, Tellal, many companies are interested. We've taken 10 so far. I think it suits any business that's interested in globalization. It's the first step. From here you go to the UK, from the UK you go to the USA, Australia, Europe, but the UK is the easiest first step by far.
All right. I'd like to invite some questions from the audience. The mic, please. Yes.
Hi guys, how are you? This is Ibad. My personal question would be to Mr. Ahmed Ajina, since you're the Solicitor and head of UK immigration. I by myself, I'm a UK graduate from Edinburgh. Just going to make it concise. With the Brexit happening at this point of time, we'll see in the upcoming days what's going to be the reckoning of the Brexit. But since all of you, and I'm sure everyone in this business conclave would know, that for the past 3-4 years, there has been a lot of immigration, especially happening to the three strongest economy in the European Union, which is the UK, France, and Germany.
Yeah.
Many immigrants coming to these specific country, the Western Europe especially. So, me being a graduate from Edinburgh, I'm not a very excellent student, but guys like me really try to get a job right there. But most of us didn't make it, is because they had the segregation. The first would be the UK nationals, then would be the European Union, and then if there's a place, then would be the rest of the world. what do you think that the future of the UK would be in terms of the job perspective for individuals like us who would be looking for a job?
So for non-EU nationals, it will be positive. The reason for that is that the UK are making a conscious move to replace the net migration of EU nationals who, since the Brexit vote, have been leaving the United Kingdom, and following, once Brexit is implemented from the beginning of April, there will be a huge reduction in the number of European unions coming to the UK and filling the labour market. And the reason for that is because they will be considered, especially the B1 and B2 nationals. So, for example, the European nationals on the sort of the Eastern European countries, they'll no longer be able to, well, they've left the UK and in droves, and they'll no longer be able to come to the UK as much as they did so in the past. So what's going to happen now is that there's going to be an increase in the number of non-EU nationals coming to the UK and filling up the labour market. I'm not sure if you're aware of the Tier 2 sponsor license, but it's for highly skilled workers, and you have to meet a specific skills criterion, which is at NQF level 6, which is the highest. You need to be experienced workers. So what they've talked about implementing is for that to go down to NQF level 4. So that's a lot of graduate positions. So that's going to fill a labour market which is being heavily depleted following Brexit. So the prospects for EU nationals, for non-EU nationals, in terms of acquiring residence in the UK for work purposes is very good. So there's going to be a huge increase, I would say.
Hope that answers the question. Yes. Any other questions, please? This is the Q&A session. Yes.
Hi all, Assalamu alaikum. Myself, I am Ninal Sadiq, student from Kerala. And I think my question is to Mr. Mike. So,
To Mike.
yeah,
To Mike Cheetham.
yeah.
Yeah.
And representative from your company had already said that you used to invest or spread your services globally only after specific researches and studies of lifestyle of people of that nation or that specific region. So kindly, can we know some of steps or measures you had took or you had put forward for those purposes? I meant that whether you had assigned any group of people or your company has a group of people on this research and studies of people on different locality. Hope my question is clear.
Yeah, we have undertaken a very careful market research in each country. We've bought products from our competitors, we've analysed them, we've looked in the retail sector, the wholesale sector, we've costed out the distribution channels, we've looked at the labour cost of all levels, we've costed out electricity, gas, accommodation, shipping. So the UK has proved cost effective. The pricing allows us to make reasonable margins, and we started slowly. We hope to employ 250 people. We're currently at 26. So we've been very careful to undertake market research across every spectrum of the business expenses before we have moved into a country. We've done the same in Australia, same in Panama, same in America. Market research has been essential. Does that answer your question?
I hope so. Direct.
I'm Santosh. We are a Dubai-based company, I said. Do we have to have a holding company over here to start a franchisee in UK?
Do we need to have a holding company in Dubai to start a company in UK?
No, that isn't necessary. You can start with a new company, a new beginning in the UK.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's no requirement for you to do so. But if you can link the company or make it a subsidiary, or you can make the UK company a subsidiary of the holding company in the UAE, but there's no requirement for you to do that. You can set up a new company from scratch in the UK.
Okay. Thank you.
It's really simple, very simple, to make a UK company.
One thing that has been required as of late with unexplained wealth orders is the identity of individuals. So in the past you could have nominated directors or you could have corporates as the directors and the shareholders. Nowadays you have to have yourself identified as who is actually trading that business.
Could you elaborate on that a little more?
Yeah, the idea is so as to minimize the extent of a black economy,
Yeah.
that people have to be identified so that if there are any issues, the authorities, and they share information these days, can trace who is the person in control of a business. You are required to have persons of control so that the authorities know who is running those businesses. And the banks, when you come to open a bank account for the business, they'll want to have the identification and details of the shareholders in that business. So it's straightforward, but there's just transparency. That's the point I'm wishing to emphasize.
We cannot live here and start a business over there, right? We have to have somebody who is on the ground in UK to be managing the business.
No?
Or in some way representing the business.
No?
Is it possible?
Do it all from here. You don't need to be there.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't need to have a UK
So
presence.
it can be like
in
an
order to
offshore
operate
business as well. So you have a business address license, but you're operating completely from here. Is that possible too?
Yeah, so you don't need a physical presence to be in the UK. You don't need to have a physical presence in the UK in order to operate the company from there.
Okay. As a closing note, what would you say? Would you have any particular message that you want to give to the people over here in terms of your domain?
If I were giving a message, it's the message that I gave before, which is if you have a business and you're successful in that business, particularly in the world climate is today, people are looking to invest in other countries and become global themselves. And England should not be, you shouldn't be scared off because of Brexit. You should be committed to going to the path that you want, which is, if it is the UK, there are so many opportunities. The regulations can be easily overcome. They're very good opportunities, and people are very welcome. We have tolerance, we have opportunities for everyone.
Excellent.
Can I ask how many people in the room are interested in expanding their business
Show of
into
hands.
the UK?
How many of you are interested? You have a question? Yes.
Hi, my name is Farouk. The question goes to Mr. Mike. I hope your product is environmental sensitive products.
I can't. Can you hear the question?
It's not clear. Can you repeat?
I hope your product will be the environmental sensitive products. Hotpack is concerned. What would be the environmental threat you're going to face the coming 5 years in terms of entering to some other market?
I can't hear the question.
It's
Struggle
not
to
clear
hear.
here. There's too much noise on the other side.
Music started.
His question was about the threat to the environment. What is the impact of your products, let's say 5 years later, on the environment?
Of our products?
Yeah.
In the UK, excuse me, recycling is very poor in this region. In the UK, recycling is very well advanced. In fact, it's so good that we had plastic for recycling that China couldn't take. So we are concentrating in Europe on paper products and products which are fully biodegradable, compostable. We've already addressed that, and the European market will be only recyclable products.
Yes, so show of hands, how many people are really interested? That was your question, right? To move to the UK. To set up business in UK. All right?
Yep.
All right. What would be your closing address?
Yeah, I think the UK this is absolutely the right time to invest in the UK and to set up business in the UK for all the benefits that we've mentioned during this discussion. From the tax point of view, the tax implications are very low. The process of setting up a company is very easy, and the opportunities now are huge in light of the currency falling down and the value of acquisitions going down as well. And from a personal point of view, for the people that are looking to perhaps immigrate to the UK together with their companies, so the directors and the owners or the employees, they would have the benefit of acquiring residency in the UK, which could lead to permanent residence and ultimately British citizenship. And there's a benefit of the reduced cost and lifestyle, the health system over there, which is for free, schooling. I mean, the UK is definitely, as a Brit, the UK is definitely the best country in the world, and London perhaps the best city in the world. So I would advise all of you who are thinking seriously of moving to the UK to make that step and to move to the UK and invest in the UK.
Lovely. And after this session, is it okay if I invite all of them to come and meet with you guys to collect your business cards and get more information from you on a personal level?
Of course, yeah.
So all of you who are interested to, you have another question? We'll take one last one.
Hello.
Two questions. Is it okay? Go for two more questions.
Sir, as I'm holding a company in Dubai, is it possible or is it easy to open a branch in UK? Or is it better to start as a fresh company in UK?
We can't hear.
Is it easy to open a company in the UK?
As a branch of Dubai company. Is it? Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes, better.
My question, I'm holding a company here in Dubai, okay? So is it easy to open a branch of this Dubai company to the UK, or is it better to open a fresh company in UK? Which one will be easier?
So his question is it easier to open a branch company in UK or open a fresh company in UK, right?
Yes.
They're both equal.
Yeah, they're both
equal.
Yeah, they're both equally easy. However, if you're looking to acquire residency in the UK, then you could do that by opening a branch in the UK and being a representative of the branch. Or if you would like to invest in the UK, then you'd be able to be a company director and go through the tier 1 entrepreneur route. So both have their positives and both are equally easy. From a tax point of view, there's no dissimilarities. They're both exactly the same. And from a cost point of view and from in terms of the process of doing so and from an immigration point of view, it's both exactly the same.
Okay, thank you.
Just to add to that, commercially, I've spoken of all the positives, but in business, one takes chances, and if there is any risk of the business not necessarily succeeding, sometimes from an accounting perspective, you might be better off having your company as a separate entity in England, so it doesn't potentially damage your balance sheet elsewhere if things don't happen as well as you would like.
I saw one more show of hand up there. Yes, the last one.
Hi, the final question to me, and this is to all the three panelists, Ahmed, Mike and Neil. Since this is the premise of this conclave is about the investments in UK, specifically UK, me being a finance student and being a finance enthusiast, I'm updated with the finance news and what's happening with the economy of the globe. Since you know that from 1980s, the deregulation of financial market happened during the Ronald Reagan administration, and the cause and effect relationship of the boom and bust cycle, the financial recession always happens. So we had the 2008 financial recession, then we had the 2000 dot-com bubble. There are rumors which says that the financial recession is going on, but people are not proclaiming it, or it will happen in 2019 by the end, or 2020. JP Morgan has already shown a loss at its profit, and we know in 2008 the Northern Rock, RBS, and Lloyds suffered a loss in UK. So, I mean, I'm not denying, since all the three panelists are saying that investment would be okay in UK at this point of time, but could it go otherwise, is my question.
Sorry, what was the final part?
Could it go otherwise, you mean?
Could it go otherwise, as in the investment in UK at this point of time, which would be very profitable, I hope so, being an optimistic person. But could it go otherwise? Let's just say a fiasco, turn out to a disaster.
Meaning? Is a recession coming, is your question?
Yes, the global recession.
Is a recession coming?
If we could answer that question with certainty, we'd be very rich men. because we'd be trading right now on the stock markets. The financial markets are very different to all other markets. There's a lot of concern in the financial markets about what's going to happen with the UK. Will they be able to passport with the banks and have offices and work through Europe? We don't know all the answers to that. Of course there is great risk because we don't know what's going to happen with Brexit. So we're in a world of uncertainty. When you listen to the politicians themselves who are involved in those decisions, they don't know. They'll tell you they don't know yet because there are still votes to happen, there are still negotiations taking place. It's a world of uncertainty, so there will always be risk. And that's why many decisions need to be made. Although we talk about a global market, the decisions need to be made quite often on the basis of your business and what the expectations are in the country that you are proceeding to go into. If you're looking for a space in Europe, then of course there might be concerns, is England the best place? It might still very well be the best place if we still have trade with Europe. If you want to trade with America or elsewhere, England might be a better place to do that from than Germany, France or another member of the European Union. We don't know the answers to those questions yet.
Okay, job done.
Brilliant. Are we done? All right. Thank you very much, gentlemen.
Thank
It's
you.
been a pleasure.